Hello, besties. Welcome to Chronically Cozy Chats. My name is Randy, and I am a cozy business coach helping chronically exhausted entrepreneurs build a business that works for their body and mind. Today's guest is Kirien of Reclaiming Belonging. He is a collector of knowledge on all things healing and mindfulness, including shamanic Reiki, sound healing, tarot, relational mindfulness, and heartful sharing circles, offering in-person and online services. And today we are going to talk about the importance of slowing down and creating a cozy space around you. So sit back, get cozy, and let's chat. Hello, Kirien. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to the Cozy Chats podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Can you tell us what you do?
Yeah, I am still in the figuring out how to put this into words phase, but I would say that everything centers around mindfulness or presence or making that more accessible to more kinds of people. The being here now and slowing down together, increasing capacity to be with what is, including the busy mind or strong emotions or judgments or whatever else, but like that. And then I learned many different modalities that all of which I found that my experience of the modality turned out to be about mindfulness and not about anything else. So I think the best example here is Reiki and tarot readings, which are currently the things I'm doing the most. Perhaps because it's the easiest to explain, while something like Eco Nidra is nobody knows what that is. But like my experience of Reiki is like body doubling for non-doing. uh, yeah, and my whole explanation or the theory of change, maybe like why I believe Reiki works. Yes, I think there's some mystical component and some component that can be explained using the Chinese or the Japanese or the Indic energy body systems. And the easiest way to explain this is when we talk about energy and getting energy to flow better. Say that's the point of Reiki. Well, if we can relax, the energy flows better. And it's very hard to relax on one's own, I found nowadays for most people. So suddenly, just like the concept of body doubling, if somebody's holding the space with you, you can suddenly do the thing. So somebody's here holding the space with me, I can suddenly relax. And then especially if it's in person, like touch, if my body is relaxed and I'm touching your body very gently, not moving, not squeezing, not manipulating at all. This is the body communicating to the body that, yeah, it's okay to release the tension. So once that happens, then the body knows how to heal itself.
I think like so much of the stuff that a lot of people consider to be very woo-woo and like,
Mm,
mystical, they don't understand it because it's just energy and it's all just, it's not real. It all really does come down to like a deeper level of science, right? Like it is all intrinsically within us. We have energy fields, like that is scientifically proven. And when you understand that, they're easier for someone like you to like manipulate those things and help people heal through it. And I think that's really beautiful. I love that. What got you into this kind of work?
mm. I have from a very young age just prefer to do quiet things. So I can say it probably started with being 13 years old and being introduced to a meditation group. And immediately, like, it just became my hobby. Like, oh, I want to be with people, but I don't enjoy running around or being loud or constantly talking. I just want to be with others. And I didn't know it was possible until I went to this meditation group. So from there, it was like learning, taking classes in meditation, meditation related things. And pretty quickly, then it's like spiritual things. But it was like for many years when I worked in the tech industry, this was my hobby. Like I would make a lot of money and then spend all of it on taking classes in healing modalities. And back then, because of being on a visa, I wasn't allowed to try to monetize it. So I never thought about it. And just I keep taking these classes while my classmates started to think about how can I monetize it. I didn't until finally when it was time to be allowed to try something. I had such a big list of things that I learned and never tried to monetize it that now it's so much work to put it together because they've become part of who I am. They're no longer individual techniques. And then it's like it would take several years to try to decipher them, like by itself, and then how to combine it together. Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of those things too, like, some are gonna work on some people, some are gonna work on
Mm,
others, and, like, it's gonna be how you work with them too. So, like, I'm a I am a collector of knowledge as well. I do the same thing, like, I just love taking little courses and gaining different, like, skills and stuff like that, and then I'm like, "Okay, now what am I gonna do with this?" And it just
mm.
ends up, like, you have such a vast range of knowledge, like, how do you condense it down to focus on one goal? It's so hard.
Yes. Yeah. So hearing you say that, it's like, okay. So if a person's goal is, I want to practice being more present, or I want to find a way to do mindfulness that works for me, then there's like, I can see five different things that could come up. So, uh, Reiki is like if person's body is very tense and doesn't know how to just physically relax, I might uh, suggest that, like hands on. Uh, I have found so most of my in person sessions combine Reiki and sound healing, like that bowl behind me is a sound healing bowl. And some people have said that if they're very much in the head, then Reiki might not be as effective because they're so in the head that they're not really feeling the body at all. Like they're just like constantly thinking. So if there's someone who's not as energetically sensitive or not as familiar with these practices, it doesn't work as well. But playing sound healing instruments cuts through the thinking and the mental noise immediately because like if I take this bowl and go dong, like
It, like,
yeah,
interrupts the thoughts.
yes.
So you kind of, like, so when somebody comes to you then, do you kind of, like, check in with them, like, where are you feeling the tension? Where are you feeling the anxieties and type stuff to decide what works best for them?
Mm, when people book an in-person regular sound healing session, then they just come for that. And
Oh, okay.
that I don't usually ask about, but if it's a general person that comes with like an intro call, hey, I would
Yeah.
like to work with you, and I don't know exactly what, I can suggest those things. Another one is a practice called relatefulness or relational mindfulness, which is like a conversation that is a meditation. So that one I have found some people feel that meditation is too like, oh, I don't want to just go inward, or I need interaction, or I need input. That is just like now, for example, we're here and I'm just noticing what's it like to be here with you, noticing my own body, noticing what I'm seeing, noticing that you're nodding. And I will say out loud, I notice this, and inviting other people that I'm guiding the practice with to notice and then to share. So it's the same mechanism as meditating or as mindfulness, like noticing the present moment, except we can talk about it. And then at the same time, it's something about how is it to be with other people. And I can maybe argue that this has more direct applicability to daily life, as I'm on a cushion or I'm on the table and things are great. And suddenly, when I'm talking to somebody on the street, it's like not mindful anymore.
Yeah.
Mm,
That makes sense. And like, so I mean, I work with a lot of neurodivergent people. I don't know. Are you neurodivergent as well?
probably, I,
One of those things that like, it's come up but like hasn't been fully checked into. That's totally fair.
yeah,
And so that's the thing that like I hear from a lot of the neurodivergent folks, and this is something that I have felt as well, is that it's really hard to be mindful and to meditate because there are so many different things going on. And I mean, classically, as chronically ill people, like we get told things like, oh, just try meditation, try yoga, try this. Like, yeah, right.
yeah,
And
no,
so, like, this was something that I started implementing when I started my first business as a personal trainer. I was doing intuitive movement. And sometimes that was more just very gentle movements that would help them relax in their body. And, I would call it meditation and they would just pass it off and say, oh, meditation doesn't work for me. And I'd have
right.
to explain, I'm like, no, 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 okay, like I get that and I get why. What we're going to do is more movement plus to take them like out of that space, because like you said, some people are too in their head, some people are too in their body, and they need that something that pulls them out of that like body doubling person. I like
Mm,
that. So for those of us who are very messy brained, you would say sound healing is one of the best
that
options.
that could work. Yeah, if it's to like just interrupt the
Yeah.
thinking and
Or
have
the
something
talking.
else to, that one can work as well. And then another modality is forest therapy or forest bathing, which is, uh, yeah, that word has many different associations, such as
Yeah,
do I
fair.
get naked in the forest, which it's not. It is basically mindfulness practice, but outdoors, or it was developed to be done outdoors, not necessarily even in the forest.
Mhm.
So it has things like noticing the surroundings, noticing the senses, noticing my own body's participation in the sensory qualities of the environment, and then walking slowly and noticing what happens when we walk, and different ways that we can engage, like notice the interplay of light and shadow, notice what it's like to be with the water, notice the wind. How is the wind present here? Something about active exploration,
Okay.
or
I
like
love that.
specific things in the environment. Yeah.
Oh, some time in the forest. Nothing's more healing. Set me by a
Mm,
body of water surrounded by trees. I'm fixed. Problem solved.
right. Yeah.
Um,
And then,
and then so you were
mm,
also talking about, sorry, what did you call it? Kawaii?
Kawaii, or
Kawaii
I
Kawaii?
guess like, yes, like the
Okay.
word
Can you
that
tell
means
me more
cute
about
things.
that?
Well, my space is filled with cute things, and I could probably like show you around how, yeah, it's everywhere.
Love it.
uh, yeah, there's like so many things I could say about this, but maybe in the here in the moment is something about like uh, sources of joy that are present in the environment, and it's very intentionally that way. So when I saw the name of this podcast, the cozy, like, yes, my business is intentionally cozy. And people who have come into this room have very frequently said, like, oh, this doesn't feel like alternative healing studio. It it doesn't feel woo woo. It doesn't even feel spiritual. It feels like very grounded or something else,
Yeah.
something more playful, while maybe spirituality feels very serious. Or like, yeah,
Love that. And sorry, the word kawaii. Where does that come from?
kawaii is a Japanese word. And yeah, I can say it means cute, or but the kanji. So I'm not Japanese. My ancestry is Chinese, and the kanji that is make up the word kawaii is the same in Chinese as to mean cute.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very cool.
uh, yeah.
I think that that's
There's
like
like,
that seems like a practice that a lot of our people could really benefit from because most of us are stuck in small spaces, usually like either
mm,
bedrooms or offices, like especially if you're
mm,
working from home. And I know that for me, especially with like my neurodivergence, my environment is everything. Like if I'm in the wrong space, like work is
yeah,
impossible. Yeah, right.
yes.
And I think that I mean, I have been kinda going for a lot of that. I share my space with my husband, so I haven't made it too cutesy. But little things like having a pink chair and having
Mm,
like I have little Lego things everywhere and things that are colorful. I love that, and it makes coming into this space feel more playful than work, I think is what I wanna say. I love it. I love that whole, like, genre of cute too. The very, like, what was the first hold up the pillow that you held up at the first?
this one, like, yes,
Yeah,
this
I love
This is
that.
like a devil character, but nobody believes me. These are horns, and this is a skull.
She's
And
so cute.
right? And the whole character, the tail is actually like this pointy devil tail.
And that's from the, like, Hello Kitty realm, right? Of
Yes,
I went to Japan when I was 18, and we went to, like it was called Hello Kitty World, and
cool.
it was just walking into a whole space of all of those, just all of those characters. I loved it. I loved it. I
Yeah,
wanted to bring home everything. I love the whole style of it. It's the cuteness. It's so cute.
yes,
You just I want to be surrounded by more cute all the time.
mm,
And so
yeah.
how do you mix those into your professional practice?
Well, they're here.
Just kind of more the
And
space that it creates?
I think because of the way that I practice, yes, many of my modalities are not explicitly eco spiritual or eco somatic or eco whatever, but I am, as a person, I am. And like you said about environment, the environment is my whole life. Like everything I do is uh, in in relationship with space and place. It's done together with the space.
Mhm.
So yeah, recently somebody asked me is about the burnout as a healer and how to work with that. And I found myself saying, like, oh, I guess the way that I have been working with that is that this space from the beginning of living here, this is where I normally live, but the space was created just to receive in person clients. I and the spirit of the apartment made an agreement together that in exchange for me living here and not many of the other people that could want to live here, uh, we will work together to open this up to the people of the city. This is the center of a quite large city in a very densely populated country, meaning it's very hard to find a place like this to live. So, like, you allow me to live here, and we together create a sanctuary in the city center that people can come in and get a break because here they need it the most. Maybe out in the countryside, not as acutely. So I work in partnership with the room and the whole apartment, which is only partly for me, mostly for the inhabitants of the city. And when I'm here, we show up together. So the spirit of the room is with me. Uh, and that's like that with everything else. If I go outside to the forest with somebody, is still me and the forest have agreed we are like showing up together. Or in the forest therapy school that I learned from, they have this slogan: the forest is the therapist, the guide opens the doors. So I'm the guide, but the forest is the therapist, and this room is the therapist. And this room seems to have agreed to be cute with me. Yeah. Mm,
Yeah, the environment is so much, and the space that you're inhabiting is everything. Like especially for those of us who are neurodivergent and so sensitive to our surroundings. Like if there is a sound or a light or a something out of place, I can feel it physically to
mm,
my
mhm,
bones. And yeah, just being surrounded by the things that like make you feel happiest and most inspired is so important.
mm.
Other than that, what are some modalities that you could recommend to people who maybe can't go for services, but they can maybe try at home when they're feeling like overstressed, overwhelmed, burnt out, and needing to create that space of relaxation and safety?
Yeah, like, yeah, specifically about not being able to go outside,
Yeah, if they
you
can't
were
come see
thinking.
somebody like you, which I know, like, I mean, for so many of us, we're already seeing so many practitioners that it's hard to just even fit another one in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's always the problem. And then for some of us, I know that it's just space and access. Like, we don't have. Sorry, where are you?
Right now, I live in Utrecht in the Netherlands, and I'm actually in the process of moving back to Norway. So, yeah, this is my
Nice.
really weird story.
Yay,
Mm,
you're the first person from that area that I've talked to, so yay.
all
My
right.
favorite part of this podcast is just getting to connect with people from all over the world and
Mm,
find the different ways that people are doing things differently and, just having this global community of people
yeah,
who just wanna support and create space for each other, and I think that that's what
yeah.
most of us are doing.
It's just that, yeah, we have to create our own spaces since everyone else seems to not want to accommodate or not able to well, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
So for those of us
Mm,
who can't make it out to the Netherlands or to Norway once you do move, um, and if I can, I will. I will definitely make my
mm,
way out there.
yeah, of course,
Um,
yeah.
what kind of advice would you give us for creating a safe space where we are?
Mm, need to really yeah, pretty much everything I offer can be done virtually. The only thing that cannot at the moment is the sound healing. And that's because to transmit the the sounds well, I need quite complex recording setup, including like the echo proofing and the audio editing. This is a lot, and I just didn't get around to figuring that out yet. But everything else that I know, that I learned, that everything I can offer it online, including force therapy. I actually learned that during the pandemic. So we all joined classes on Zoom with varying degrees of being allowed to go outside. Like some people were not allowed to go outside at all at some part of it.
Yeah.
So then they just opened the window. And so that is the form of the practice I learned, is the one that can be done virtually. Mm,
So let's
but
talk
yeah.
about those kind of things. Like that's so good that you learned during COVID. So you learned in some ways that like um might be adaptable. So things like opening windows, um me personally, like if you see the rest of my house, I have a house full of plants because I couldn't
Mm,
always get outside or didn't always want to be outside, and that was my way of bringing that kind of healing in.
mm.
Have you found any other things that people can do to their spaces that kind of facilitate that kind of healing and relaxation?
Well, uh, I have created I guess you can call it a modality or a practice that is bringing together the relational mindfulness, so the conversational being present with force therapy, which is being present and engaged sensory outward. So I put them together into a kind of coaching method or modality in which and if it was you in this case, so I would be with you in your space and inviting you to be present in your space. And we would get curious together, like, oh, where are you being drawn in this direction? And how is it to be drawn there? What happens in your body? Do you have thoughts? So it's kind of a guided experience in uh, uh, what's the right way to say it? Like, I don't know how you and your space get along best. I don't know what your relationship is, but I believe that you can figure that out yourself if you communicate with the space.
Right.
And sometimes, quite frequently, people in the society that we live in today, we don't have a practice of communicating with place and space beings. We think we can only communicate with other humans, or maybe with animals, or maybe with plants. But if we communicate with the space, I believe that the space will tell us because it wants to support us as well. And when we get into the meditative or the that state in which things move a little bit differently, there might be an impulse like, oh yeah, it just feels right to move this thing over there. I
Mm.
don't know why. Something like that. Mm,
I found I have been a little anxious recently and I keep rearranging my pantry.
Mm,
And I have felt like, and I had to actually step back the other day and I'm like, why is this the space that I feel needs to be constantly rearranged right now? And I had to like step back and really assess that. So I can see what you mean by like, you just feel that need for things to be. And there was no,
mm,
I don't think there was a real answer, but it's the space that like, every time I stood in it, I think maybe when I was standing there, I was feeling, what's the word? Um, Felt like I was looking for something. I was looking for something to fix something. Like I was looking for a snack, figuring that would fix the boredom probably. And instead
mm,
of that, I was doing other things to reconnect that space.
mm.
See what you mean there.
Yeah. This there's like so many curiosities of ways that I could take that. Yeah, if this was if we were here to explore that topic, like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, could you actually like I mean, could you give me some examples? Like if somebody is, sitting there feeling that disconnect, what are some of the things that they could stop and be curious about to like give them like a little bit of a grounding place if they're feeling that stress and disconnect?
Hmm.
What are some of the guiding questions you would give them?
In this moment, if they were in front of me, I would ask, how is it to be here with me right now? Yeah, that would be the starting point. But yes, okay, if they are sitting there by themselves,
Mhm.
then it's a little bit different. Yeah.
I
Hmm.
mean, I guess they could start like, how am I feeling? Naming it. I liked how you were talking about the noticing the sensory things. I've been
Mm-hmm.
told that one several times as a way of helping anxiety. Taking that moment to notice something, something you can see, something you can hear, something you can smell kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other kind of like,
Yeah.
guiding questions like that that you would give somebody if they were looking for something?
Yeah. This is interesting. So uh yeah. My
Didn't know
mind
you
is
were going to be
going into
challenged here.
yes, it's going in two directions. There's like, yes, I could answer that. And it's still with something that you mentioned earlier, which is the thing about the organizing the pantry. I am a slow processor. Yeah, might still be over there because one of the things that came up was uh, curiosity about your relationship with the items in the pantry and what each of those mean to you, and if there's some symbolic connection, or if they and the reason that that curiosity was there and then it came up again now is like if I'm just sitting here by myself and my mind is really busy and I don't know what to do about it, most frequently there's a practice I do on my own. I haven't taught it to someone else in a systematic way, but I try to describe it. I have a blog post in which I try to describe it. It basically uses tarot cards to sort out, like using the visual symbols as a processing method. So I get a deck, I just start like looking through the cards. And each card that I stop at a bit longer, then I put it to the side. So at the very end, there's a pile of cards that stuck out for reasons I don't know why. Mm, and then I lay them out in front of me in some random position and just feel into, is this the right position? Do they want to be moved? And if yes, just move them. So that can like take up to 1 hour, like moving them back and forth until they feel like stable. And during that process, I might be listening to music and might be moving my body while moving the cards around. And somehow at the end of that, it feels like I have sorted something inside of myself. And I don't know what it is, but my head is clearer. So at the very end, then I can reference like the meanings of each of the tarot cards and retroactively then attempt to put words to it. Oh, what was it that got sorted out? Mm,
That's
but
very
yeah.
cool. I've never tried tarot, but I've always been drawn to it, drawn to the idea of it. Just one of the many things that I've always wanted to try and never had really done much about. But I know that I have several people in my directory and in my community that do tarot. Can you tell me a bit about like what tarot is and how it's used?
hmm I think there's many different ways that people would answer this question. I don't know how common my way is.
How do you
The
use it?
way, yeah, yes, the way that I answer that is tarot is a language of visual symbols. Mm. And those visual symbols, they do have a system. The system, the way that I would describe it is about their relationships to each other. So like there is four suits and each suit goes from ace to 10 and then there's four cards on the end and uh, it is, I focus less on the isolated meaning of the card and how like the meaning in relation to others. But that, so when I do readings, I don't think about that first. I think about uh, the images that are on the card and what comes up for me and for the other person, or if it's, yeah, reading for someone else. I actually start my readings by pulling the cards and then asking them, where is your attention drawn first? And what happens when you allow your attention to go there? Maybe it's close to this Rorschach's test or like that.
Like the one where they show you an image and they say, "What does it make you think of?" kind of test? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. That
a,
makes
a, a,
sense.
a, yeah, a bit like that. Like it's a different way of thinking about things, not using words, not using linear language, but using images. So that, yeah, the way that I approach using tarot is like, it is also a different kind of presence practice. Like you have this thing that you were wondering about, like, oh, am I making the right decision? And then there's four cards in front of you. One of them may be quite positive, one of them might seem quite challenging. Where is my attention drawn first? Uh, Sometimes when I ask people this question, it has been really surprising. Like a bunch of really challenging cards, but their attention is drawn to the one like the sun card or uh, yeah, what else is really good card? Yeah, those like, oh yeah, I didn't notice this. I noticed that one first. Like, oh, now you learn something new about yourself through this being reflected back at you. How can that help you with the question that you came with?
Okay. So when someone comes to you with like for a tarot reading, they come to you with a question in mind or like what are
Mm,
they usually looking
yeah,
for?
usually some kind of question or theme or intention, or if it's totally general, it can be, is there something I should know right now? Or something that the universe wants me to know? That can, the most general can be like that. And it
So
can
it
be very
sounds like
specific. Mm.
um the cards kind of facilitate a way of like reading between the lines. Like you have an idea of what's going on, and then the cards kind of give you that deeper idea when you notice how you're feeling about them or what they're catching, depending on the card, I'm assuming. Is that
Yeah,
right?
it's like a way to connect with your one's own, say like subconscious or intuition or whatever that is, the nonverbal processing space. And there's something about like uh, something kind of mystical about it. Like maybe there is a collective unconscious that is something in between me and the other person. So I usually say that the reason that I don't tell people what things mean, like I will say in this book or in this deck or in this system, this is usually how they relate to each other, but that's not what it means. It's just a one perspective because every visual symbol means different things in different cultures. And since I have lived in too many countries, I am very aware, like even things like colors or shapes. I can look at it and have an association, and someone else can have like the opposite association. And the truth is both of them, is all of them. Like every cultural way of
Yeah.
relating to an image is correct. So it's the person who's asking the question, their perspective is more important than mine. But I can tell them how these cards relate to each other in the system that they go together in. Mm.
That's very cool. I love learning about these things. There's so many like the beautiful thing about people is that there are so many different types of people, and we all heal and function in different ways, and we all connect with different things. And it's so lovely. And like, while
Mm.
some people might feel like that's not going to help them at all, other people's have their like lives changed by it. And that's amazing. So great.
Yeah.
Love it. Love the like
Mm.
just individuality of all the people. Um, Kieran, can you tell me a little bit? You said in your business right now, you're kind of still working on getting those like details down, but can you tell us where we would find you to be able to connect with you more?
Yes, you can find me on the website, which is reclaimingbelonging.com, and on Instagram. I'm there as well, even though I don't post that much because I find it's very overwhelming to post there.
Yeah,
So that's
that's
kind
pretty
of the
common.
main places. Mm,
And I think you found me on Threads, right?
yeah,
You're on there a little bit as well.
it's the yeah Threads is my experimental ground in which is like not professional at all.
Love it. I think that is I think that's the way it's doing best right now for most people, and I think a lot of
Mm,
us are finding each other there because it's a little bit more relaxed, it's not quite so overwhelming, and it's a lot easier to just make those connections and have those like little conversations. So,
mm,
doing well.
yeah.
Hopefully it stays that way and we don't have to like
Well,
miss the old way of it. I miss old Instagram so
um,
much. Bring back
everything
old
changes.
Instagram. I just want pretty pictures
Mm,
of food and people with fun filters. That's all I want now. Well, thank you, Karen, so much for coming and chatting with me. It was so great learning about your business.
mm,
Hopefully, if anybody needs some time to relax and some peace and some healing, they can come to you. I will make sure that I drop all of those links down below in the description. If you want to come and share your story and any tips for our chronically ill and neurodivergent people, come give me a shout. All of the links for that are down below as well, and we will see you next time.
Great. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Chronically Cozy Chats. If you enjoyed, please give it a like and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you are a chronically exhausted entrepreneur looking for a community and support, please follow the links and join the Chronically Cozy Creators Club on Discord, where you'll find others who understand and are there to help you grow. Thanks again and stay cozy.